This week, I am in the throes of a super hectic, kind of stressful week. I feel like I say that all the time these days. I heard this quote once, and it was a life is saying, yeah, my life's going to slow down after this week over and over until you die. And this week, that one is like really, really resonating with me. I do have some unexpected travel that came up, and I will be getting on a plane. I am recording this video this week on Tuesday, which is not really typical for me. I'm usually more of a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday morning if I don't get to it kind of person. And I had a whole slew of things that I was hoping to get done today before I get on this plane. Plus, there's kind of a lot going on around, the reason for this trip and everything that's happening and a lot of emotions. And I'm tired and I'm feeling pulled in a million different directions and I'm just not feeling like it. I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. And I recognized that one of the things that was on my to-do list was sitting down and recording this video for you guys this week. And when I saw that on my list, my heart just sank and I thought, ugh, like I don't have energy for that today. I don't want to. I don't feel like it. Like, is it okay? Should I just skip this week? I have so much going on. And I know that probably, most of you guys would all understand and be totally, totally cool with having a week off and not seeing my lovely face. But this is a commitment that I have made to myself and to God and to you that I would put out a video on Fridays. And so I've made this commitment. And so I mustered up the energy and I sat down and I started brainstorming at the computer. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to talk about this week? And all I could think and all I could feel was like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel like it. And so what was brought to mind was my very favorite parable. It's the parable with two sons, but it's not the prodigal son. It's a parable that we only hear in the Gospel of Matthew, and it's in chapter 21. And it's the story. It's a real quick parable, and Jesus is talking to the Pharisees in the temple, and he says, "So let me tell you about this man who had two sons. And the first son, he says to him, 'Son, go and work in the vineyard today.' And the first son says, 'Yes, sir.' But then he doesn't go and do it. And the father says the same thing to the second son. And the second son says to him, ugh, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. No. But then he drags himself out there and he goes and works in the vineyard. And so Jesus asks the Pharisees, who was it who did the will of the Father? And even the hard-hearted, very strong-headed, stubborn Pharisees could see that the one who, yeah, had a bad attitude at the beginning, didn't speak respectfully to his father, didn't jump up and go do it right away. But the second son, the one who went and actually did it, even when he wasn't feeling it, was the one who did the will of his father. And so, as a mom, I have always, always clung to this parable on those days when I am just not feeling it. And whether it's something like my child is crying in the middle of the night and I would just rather be asleep and stay in bed, and I do not want to get up and go comfort that kid. And oof, if it is, vomit in the middle of the night, I really don't feel like doing that. But I still drag myself out of bed and I go do that. Or whether it is getting my teenage daughters to church who are giving me attitude and rolling their eyes and refusing to participate and refusing to be gracious. And they're stealing my joy and frustrating me. And frankly, I would rather just go to Mass by myself and be present and enjoy the Eucharist on my own. But I still take my kids. I don't feel like it. I don't want to, but I still do it because that's what God has asked me to do. And that's the commitment that I have made to Him. It's the commitment that I have made to myself. And so when I am not feeling it, when I am not joyfully serving, when I am not joyfully giving of myself and doing it sort of begrudgingly, I take so much comfort and so much solace in this parable, knowing that even if I am the bad tempered, sometimes a little disrespectful, frustrated second son, who says no, who throws a little bit of a tantrum, who refuses on the first ask, but then drags herself to go do it anyway, that God sees and appreciates what it is that I'm doing. And so this week, maybe you are on top of the world. Maybe you are having so much energy and you are enthusiastically serving and giving of yourself in all the ways that God is asking you to. And if so, rejoice. What a gift. What a blessing. That is so wonderful. And I'm truly, truly happy for you. But if this week, or maybe some week in the future, sometime in the future, if you are just not having it, if you just don't have the energy, if you are just not in the mood for doing the things that you are called to do, and maybe it's with your kids, maybe it is loving a spouse who makes it really, really difficult to love sometimes. Maybe it's showing up to a job that you hate because your family needs food on the table. And so you are sacrificing and doing something that you don't necessarily love. And maybe it is just something as simple as forcing yourself to find the time to sit down and spend time with God in prayer when you're just not feeling close to God and you're not feeling it. But you open up scripture anyway. You spend time, you make time to sit down and be with Him, even when you're not feeling it. Those actions are seen by God and they will be rewarded from Him. He sees you, He loves you, and He appreciates you, even if you throw a little tantrum before you get the work done. That's all I have for you today. I'm Maria Riley, just a sinner in the throes of trying to be a saint.